So the story starts with my husband. So it's all his fault, really, isn't it? So we'd done a bit of sailing, but the main thing I wanted to do was sail around the world. And I said to my husband, shall we do that? But then my husband got ill with a brain tumour, but it was always going to be terminal, and so he died 1st of September 2021. So it's kind of fitting that 3rd of September we're going to set off.
So in exactly 13 days, 2 hours and 49 minutes, we are going to start our circumnavigation. I'm Megan Allpress. I'm a circumnavigator on Dare to Lead, and I'm going to sail around the world with my mum.
Well, we're doing it with the Clipper race, so that'll be 11 identical boats that will set off from Portsmouth this coming Sunday, and we'll set off and sail around the world following the trade winds. To be honest, I'm not really sure why. I just know that I want to do it. I just know that I want to sail around the world. And it's important to me not just do a part of the race. I want to do the whole thing. I want to start here, go all the way around and come back here.
The Clipper race is a race of 11 boats that set out to go around the world for 11 months. We set off in the UK and we go all around the world, east ways, and 11 months later we're back.
The race is 40,000 miles, split up into 14 separate races.
They're sailed by non-professionals, people from all walks of life, some with previous sailing experience, some with not. There's 2 professional sailors on board to make sure that everything runs smoothly and safely.
That's the beauty of Clipper. They've created this system of crossing the toughest oceans of the world safer.
It really isn't a cruise, it's working all day, every day, from when we leave to when we arrive. They'll be short of sleep, they'll be tired, they'll be wet, they'll be cold, they'll be uncomfortable, and they'll be loving every minute of it.
It brings out the best in people. It really starts to teach you about yourself.
I think a lot of people, when they start off, really have no idea what they're undertaking.
I think that realization that once the boat has sailed, you cannot pull out.
Every single one of them is looking for an adventure in their own right, and every single one of them will get it as well.
It offers people that opportunity to do it as safely as possible, and to really sort of push themselves and to sort of go to places on the planet that you would never get to.
There are definitely moments when you are out there and you're asking, why am I doing this?
That's what people want. That's why people have signed up for it. They haven't signed up for champagne sailing.
Professional or non-professional, the same conditions are waiting for you out there. Something that you can't quite understand till you're there, just what it's like.
At some points in this race, we're closer to the people in the International Space Station than we are to anyone else on the planet.
Helicopter rescue is not a feasible option. We can't get medical help out there.
The sea is still just as dangerous as it's ever been. And you're going to have to learn to live with and respect it, because it doesn't give a damn about you.
Okay guys, thanks for rocking up, short notice. So you obviously know what this is about, right? Poor old Greg is suffering, isn't he? Suffering badly with his back, and we know that.
When the boat came in and we heard that our skipper Greg was not well with his back problem, obviously a lot of questions and a lot of nerves started to come in, because we trained with him, we know him, we did team building, so a lot of nervousness kind of came in. But now that we've met the new temporary skipper and we've all got the boat sorted, feeling a lot more calm, I think, about this.
I'm lending you my deputy race director here, okay? I need him. Dale's going to step in, skipper you to Cape Town for sure.
My name is Dale Smith. I'm the Deputy Race Director for the Clipper race. And I do also occasionally have to stand in as an emergency race skipper. Sadly, one of our skippers has injured his back, and I will be stepping in to cover his position over this race. I'll be filling in on Team Qingdao. I don't think this needs to be long and drawn out. You've all been to the crew brief, so you've been given a lot of information there. It's a difficult thing to step into a team from the outside, and for me particularly to change gears in my head from managing the race to sailing the race. But particularly on the team front, teams take a lot of time to come together and develop and to work together in a fluid way. So standing in as a skipper is a challenge. And I think really the important thing there is the team themselves need to realise that they are the team. The skipper is there to facilitate their experience and to manage them. But at the end of the day, the heart and soul of the team has got to be with the crew. And I must say the team on Qingdao were amazing at that.
I would suggest to allocate a person for each station for the beginning of the start.
Yeah.
And for every evolution should be only one voice on board.
Well done, guys. Great stopover, as we said in the briefing yesterday. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and managed to get some downtime, but obviously race day, it creeps up on us, doesn't it, this race day?
So this race is 3,500 miles from Punta del Este to Cape Town, and can take up to 3 weeks at sea, depending on the conditions you get.
So look after them, look after yourselves. Have a really good race. It's a tricky one, this, isn't it? No clear passage. So we're all interested to see what you're going to do. I'm sure you're interested to see what everybody else is going to do as well. But have a really good race. Stay safe, okay?
Yeah,
good luck, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Well done.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks.
Mama Punta, today with departure. So big day, very emotional day for everybody. Leaving home is always hard.
We're on our way to Cape Town. It's going to be 2.5 weeks, 3,500 miles and some scary conditions, so we're excited to get going.
We're off. Off to Cape Town. Ready to go? Very ready. Had a breakfast. I'm ready to go.
Is Ryan Gibson of South Africa, so he's going to be racing back into his home.
My name is Ryan Gibson. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, and I'm the skipper on Dare to Lead.
Right, well Ryan is from Cape Town, so this stopover will be a very, very good one, I think. So we'll have a lot of South Africans on the boat. So yeah, Ryan is a good skipper. He's competitive, so he wants us to do as well as we can.
Yeah, so Amanda and Megan are actually mother-daughter, which is quite rare and really nice, and they're around the waters. And they're actually doing it for a really personal reason too. So I did know about Amanda's dream with her husband. Unfortunately, obviously, he passed away, but their idea was to sail around the world together. So obviously, with that not possible now, to do it with the Clippers is amazing. So.
Okay, next stop, Cape Town!
So yeah, leaving Punta del Este, we're going to Cape Town, which is my home port. So to sail into Cape Town for me is going to be really, really special.
Not very nice to see your boat leaving without you aboard. I've been on the dock to wish them all luck, so yeah, I didn't quite make it on board. I'll fly to South Africa tomorrow and start doing a bit of rehab in South Africa.
Okay, let's just make sure we're totally ready for a hoist.
Okay.
I'm very happy to be back on the boat, back moving again.
Yeah, it's good fun. We're going 0.5 of a knot backwards at the moment.
Oh man, bring on some wind. Anyway, I see everyone's suffering, so it's not so bad. We've all sailed ourselves square into a big wind hole. It was unavoidable really, so you just got to sit it out. We're all doing about half a knot back towards Punta del Este, so. As you can see, we're flying along, making rapid pace towards Cape Town. So this wind hole pretty much unavoidable for the whole fleet. It's a bit of a luck game this, so not going to get to Cape Town very fast like that, but especially down here things always change quickly, and should over the next 6 hours at least do something. So we get sent by our fleet meteorologist each morning a package of weather information. The whole fleet gets the identical package each morning. The information we get is what we get. From there we put it onto our Time Zero software, and we get to look ahead at what the predictions might be. And then from that work out the routing and make some decisions on what you as a team think would be best. We seem to be right at the center of a developing low that's speeding away from the South American coast, because as it develops and matures over the next few days it becomes quite vicious. But we're all still quietly tight as a group, so we'll see what happens. Still a long way to go.
Nice downwind sailing, and so far it's not happened. It's been all upwind so far, so we're still waiting for the big rolling waves and the downwind sailing, but I'm sure it'll come.
It's a bit wet and wild. We're expecting to get wet and wilder. We're just passing, or about to pass, underneath the low pressure.
The wind is howling at about 30 to 35, gusts up to 38.
So it was pretty hard going, cold, big swell, hard on the helm.
Yeah, so we did have a few nights where there was a lot of bad weather, but it does happen from time to time. So the railing's in the water and people have to, it's harder to move around the boat. So people do get a little bit scared and worried, but they get reassured with the other crew, and we can kind of see it happening too. But it's just it's just a realization when you get bad weather, you're on a boat, you're in the middle of the ocean, it's natural to be a bit scared, I think, and worried.
You'd think maybe that would be kind of scary, but when you're on that boat, that it is your home. It has everything you need, and it's not. I don't know. It wasn't scary at all.
This is more difficult than being on deck.
The Southern Oceans are hard, and again, being competitive, I quite like that challenge.
That was one of the toughest nights I've had at sea, ever. Yeah, a lot of water, a lot of wind, 57 knots of wind. It was a tough one.
Yeah, it's just great to be out here experiencing it, experiencing Mother Nature in full force. And there was just a lot of chaos on the deck, and we're all just hanging on, lots of waves coming over the side.
The reality of crossing any ocean is, you are on your own, and there's no support out there for the teams apart from the other boats on the race. And they're in very, very remote parts of the world, but that is the challenge, and that's what people want out of this. There's no way of us softening that challenge. It is the same ocean. It's just as tough. It's always been there, and it's never changed.
I don't think anyone can quite understand what you're signing up for, because it's this thing where I'm signing up to sail around the world. It's just sailing. How hard can it be? And I was thinking, oh God, what have I got myself into? At this point, I'm exhausted. It's just to keep going is tough. I'm loving every moment of it. Wouldn't want to give up. Absolutely, it is 100% the hardest thing we've ever done.
It's a bit frustrating, and the boats that were slightly ahead of us, there was a real separation between the group that we're in and the group that they're in. We got stuck for a good few hours this morning, and they seem to have streaked away just on the other side of that. So anyway, that's ocean racing.
Everyone's still motivated. We're looking good. We're still in the front pack, and we've got 1,750 miles to go, so still lots of time.
I'll be awake there. Yes, sir. Stay awake. Come on. Fuck
Are you serious?
Oh my God, we just caught up. Perseverance is first. They are leading and we are second. So we are now just on their tail.
Coming up with Perseverance now, trying to figure out why they've slowed down. Yeah, we're pretty pumped. This is our race, this is our leg home, so yeah, hopefully it's not too bad there, but we're enjoying some of the victories and the small wins for us.
You're racing along and all you've seen for days on end is the people around you on the boat who are getting a bit smelly and sea. And then Ryan pops up, 3 miles from Perseverance, a bit more pushing, we can catch him, we can catch him. And it's like, right then, we can catch him. What do we need to do to catch him?
Strange actually, because in the beginning I wasn't really that interested in the racing. I wanted to sail around the world, but as time's gone on, the racing has become really important and we want to do really well. So I've completely changed my view on the racing side. So now I'm hooked on it.
We've been catching up Perseverance the last few hours. They've been definitely a bit slower, so I think they've either had an issue with their kite or something on board. We're literally 1.5 miles from them now. You can actually see them quite close by, and they're just starting to try hoist their kite again. So I think now we got a nice little race on.
CV20, this is CV23 over. What a catch up. My God. We tried to follow your lead on the spinnaker this morning and let me just say we've got a very clean hull right now. I dragged that bad boy all over the bottom of our boat. But it's nice to be fighting with you, over.
Yeah, I thought something happened the last 2-3 hours we've been catching you, and now we just noticed you reset. Is that the same kite, or is the other one in for a bit of repair?
The very same. It's up now and drying off. Hi to both of you from Inigo.
Yeah, we'll do. Send our regards and 2-0 back to 16.
2-3 back to 16. Out.
But keep it consistent, keep it steady, don't make any mistakes, and it should be good. Game on, let's go.
It's day 19 and we've woken to our expected wind hole. Behind the low pressure we've got the South Atlantic high, and that's crept in ahead of us. Bit frustrating, but also a little bit worrying because UNICEF and some of the boats that are at the back of the fleet are still in wind. They're still trucking along and catching us up, closing the gap, and in fact the latest sheds say they may have overtaken us. We eagerly await the wind to start filling in later today and we can get going again towards Cape Town.
We're about 140 miles from Cape Town, so we're nearly at the finish line, and we've been stuck in a wind hole for a while, and finally we've hit some wind back. Yeah, I think everyone's quite ready to get to land.
I think what's important for you guys are the team. Yeah, we myself, Steve included, any of the skippers you get, and any of the skippers on the race, they're there to facilitate your guys' race of your life. Yeah, it's not the race of our lives. We took a decision early on that what was important to the team was a really good race of learning, teaching, training, developing the team. It's very early on in circumnavigation, and one of the key things when you are doing a marathon like a round the world race is to not look at each race individually. You want to look at the big picture. I'm really pleased to see how well you guys work as a team, and I think what is really important going forward is form your identity as a team. Don't rely on a skipper to form that identity for you. A lot of the time, the investment in teaching, training, helming, evolutions in the early stages of an event pay dividends in the later stages.
On behalf of all of us, thank you to you, Dale, for stepping in.
It's been an absolute pleasure, guys.
Becoming really interesting tactical now. So Qingdao and Zhuhai have just gone into stealth mode a few hours ago, so we just got their last positions and that's it for 24 hours. So stealth mode is we do not transmit our position for 24 hours to anyone else. Of course the race office knows for safety reasons where we are. We can see the other boats, so we know exactly where everyone is, but no one knows where we are. So generally it's when you want to make a good decision like we did now, and this one I kept towards the end because I thought it could come in handy, especially when we have wind and there was different decisions. We had a low pressure system and a high pressure, so the high pressure was creating a little bit of a gap of light winds. I didn't want to go up towards the high pressure, which Perseverance did, because I did have boats chasing behind us. We've been in stealth mode since yesterday at 6 o'clock in the morning, so this is the first time we've come back on. So obviously we know where we are and we know where everyone else has been, but this next 6-hour update will be really interesting with Perseverance and Zhuhai. And then we came out a few miles in front of Perseverance in first place. So then it was really intense, being like, okay, we actually have first, but we're very close to Perseverance.
So if all goes well, it's 1 o'clock, just past 1 o'clock now. So that should put us in Cape Town by about 6 o'clock.
Pretty pumped to get into Cape Town. Apparently we can see Table Mountain, so I just want to get out there early and enjoy the views.
So it's 5 o'clock, we're arriving into Cape Town. We've got about an hour from the finish. The moon's out, so as we go over the finish line the sun will come up, so it's nice timing. Everyone's really excited, the non-South Africans, the South Africans, and me especially. So I think it's going to be an awesome stopover, and yeah, I've been waiting 15 years for this. But then obviously knowing Perseverance were close, generally there is a bit of a wind hole arriving in Cape Town. So in Table Bay, in front of Table Mountain, the mountains are really big in Cape Town, people don't realize. So our predominant winds are southerly, so it gets blocked behind the mountain. Come on, but if you're coming from south, you've got to give it this gap. Go like this, you go towards Robben Island, and then you go straight in like that. We're automatically doing it now because they're not the exclusion of wall. When we started arriving, we could see it was getting lighter, the wind on the water. So I stayed a little bit away from the mountain, as I know to do, and suddenly we just stopped.
Is this just the effect of these mountains?
We are about 5 miles from the finish line, and we've just got stuck in a wind hole. Perseverance is probably about 10 miles behind us now, and so it's just going to be a bit of a battle to try and make sure we keep moving before they catch up with us.
But I remember I looked and we were doing 1.6 knots, boat speed, and Perseverance were behind us, near about 6 miles away, and they were doing 11.5, which is only, around half an hour. Grind on, all the way tight. You guys know the scoop by now, come on. To get towards the mountain, we're going to park here the whole day.
Yeah.
Thought we were an hour away, but obviously not. We just got into a huge wind hole and we're still about 6 miles away. Perseverance are catching up. I think they're probably about 2 miles away. So a bit of a hard finish, but we just got to keep moving, even if it's a knot or two. That's all we can do now. There was a point where I started relaxing a little bit, is when they actually tacked out. So they're going away from Cape Town to get into the winds to come around, which they needed to do. So we managed to get through the very light winds, and then we came around and actually started heading towards the finish line. amount of things you put in and then just crossing the finish line and winning was, yeah, it was a special moment.
The thing that triggered it was Ali, my husband, passing away. That was the reason why I'm doing it and how it all happened in the beginning. And so he's always on my mind. He would be so proud of us to know that we're doing this. So everywhere we go, whenever we're at sea, I'm often thinking of him, thinking, you know, you would if you were here, you would be absolutely loving this. And so he's still coming with me, and so those thoughts that I had in the beginning, they're still very much there, and he's always in my mind and in my heart.
Just about to cross the finish line in Cape Town, really exciting. Well, I've been telling my crew for days before, you know, that Cape Town's the most incredible place in the world to sail into, and you're down, and boy oh boy, it didn't let us down. We got a mid-fleet position, which really is where our minds were at the beginning and at the end, and in that way I'm very happy with what the team achieved.
Good evening.
Hi, Tiger. Come in.
Thank you. What are you up to?
We're packing. We're leaving tomorrow. Sharing this with Florian, my good friend.
Yes, we're packing. It's a mess. Still trying to think about, you know, how to pack. Initially I was tempted to just put all my socks and underpants in one bag and the t-shirts in the other one and the shoes in the other one. But now I realize it's probably much better to repack and put the stuff I need for a given day in one bag. I think it's going to be okay. I feel good about this.
Yeah, so Florian Engert is from Munich, Bayern, but that doesn't really define him in any way. So if you know people from Bayern, that's not Florian.
This is my very good friend and colleague, Bence Olwecki. And he was born in Hungary, grew up in Sweden, moved to Norway, and spent a lot of time in Germany.
This is all wrong.
It's all wrong. Anyway,
I'm a professor in neuroscience.
I'm a professor of neuroscience at Harvard University.
Feel good. Yeah. I feel ready. We've been here for a week preparing, doing some maintenance and getting ready, and so we're bit antsy to get going, frankly.
I was a little worried because we know it's going to be much less comfortable as here.
Yeah. Well, we're about to embark on an adventure that I've been looking forward to for much of my life. Sailing is a big part of my life, and this is just the next level. Partly why I'm going on the Southern Ocean is because it's sort of the white whale, if you want, in sailing. It's the one that must be conquered, at least sort of in the mythical sense. Nervous, looking forward to it. This is something that I really cannot fathom how it will be, so it'll be an interesting and exciting experience.
So having met our crew today, I'm feeling quite good about this. They all seem to be really nice people, and I already can sense a little bit of a bonding moment, and I have a feeling this is going to work out really well.
Where we're going into this bit of the ocean, it is not the easiest place to go. Okay, this is one of the hardest races that there are in this whole round the world race. That is because it is cold, it is wet, there are big seas, and there is going to be big weather. Okay, and that's what we've got ahead of us. Okay, that's what all 11 boats have ahead of us, so there's no reason why that would hinder any competitiveness that we have.
My name is Hannah Brewis and I am the skipper of Washington DC. In a couple of days' time I'm going to set off and race to Fremantle in Australia. It's a pretty big leg that we're doing. It's about 4,750 miles-ish. It's a really big leg. It's one of the the real famous ones that Clipper do. We shoot out here and we go pretty far south. We tickle into the Southern Ocean, into the roaring Forties, a really big bit of very famous sea, and it's pretty tough, pretty big, and yeah, take the roaring Forties all the way to Australia. You know, this is the bit that's been on my brain since I started this race, and yeah, it's no easy thing to do.
Tomorrow is the start. We know starts are always a little bit tense. As soon as we get out past that start and past that fairway buoy, I hope that we're all there, ready to give it all that we can, and you know, and just, you know, let's go. Let's get to it.
We're parading to the boats, saying goodbye to everybody, getting celebrated one last time.
Today is the race start. So at 3 o'clock local time, we will be on the start line, crossing the start line, and heading on our 3.5-week race to Fremantle.
Be launching off into the sunrise, not the sunset, because we're going to Australia. Yeah! This is actually the end of the world. This is the bottommost point in Africa, and pretty soon we'll be going around it all the way to Australia. For me, I think the hardest thing is like the understanding of the ocean as a place that, you know, you can just go through. I can't conceive it. Like, I still can't conceive it. My family is all from landlocked places. You know, my mom is from Michigan, my dad's from Kansas. I grew up in Texas. So, you know, we were never by the ocean. So my mom doesn't fully understand exactly what I'm doing. You know, I told her that I'm, you know, racing to Australia, and she knows that I'm in a boat and that it'll be dangerous. You know, I'm sort of like giving her a first taste of like what's out there in the world. And so I think, I'm hoping that'll, you know, my whole family really, like most of my family has never left the US. Like, I was the first one to leave Texas. It's a bit scary, but it's also like, I don't know. I want to push myself in ways that I never thought I could do. And so, I don't know. It's exciting. I love the sound of the ocean. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye, land. Goodbye. Goodbye.
That's 1 minute to slip.
Well, we just slipped sails for good. There's no coming back now. I still don't believe it's really happening. It feels like a standard training day, and I think I still can't believe that we are off onto the race. I'm sure it's going to sink in a few moments or hours.
Some nerves? Not yet. I mean, I know I will when we get further out. I think right now it's mostly just excitement.
Race start! The line is the buoy over there, and the catamaran behind. Okay, that's our start line. let's go, let's do this. I mean, it's 3.5 weeks and who knows what's going to happen, but we're all excited, we're all pumped, and yeah, bring it on.
So far so good. Really just waiting on the wind. I don't know who can read clouds here. I can't, but...
We now seem to have found our own little unique wind hole. And there we have, Table Mountain is still there. The forecast was due to get light, and that's what's happened. But it is really frustrating because we had such a great start and all that sort of thing. But, you know, ocean racing, you get what you get and don't get upset.
I'm David Hartshorn. I'm from the United Kingdom, from Wales originally, which I'm very passionate about. I'm the skipper of Beccazalia. So I did 30 years as a police officer, and that's all about dealing with people and dynamic problem solving, which is probably quite a good fit for being a clipper racer skipper. So I just did the maths the other day on distance so far. We've just covered just under 11,500 miles. We are not quite where I'd like to have been at this moment in time. So we're now, after all the trials and tribulations, I think we're actually sitting 7th overall on the fleet, and we're not that far behind some of the others now. I would be absolutely devastated if I was having a chat with you at the end of this leg and thinking like, oh, we've come, you know, in double figures again. You know, we need to be in the top 5, and I think that would really show that the momentum is going. A podium would be great, because I think that would be an acknowledgement for the team about how well they're doing.
As a crew, they are, the morale is so high. The way the boat works is incredible. And yeah, maybe building from the last 2 legs where we've had difficulties, it's never stopped them. It's never stopped them. It's never demotivated them. They are just ready and raring to go. So I'm so hopeful for the next leg, and I don't want to jinx it, but I really hope we do get on the podium.
There was no doubt in their self-belief that we couldn't do it. I think we're a fairly relaxed crew. You know, we do explain the decisions to them.
It's all about progression, and that's definitely the way sort of David and I have taken it. I think that's the way David is definitely more of a mentor. He says to me multiple times he trusts me implicitly.
Maisie and I work a lot together. I think Maisie and I have got quite a good, possibly unique relationship, and that definitely helps.
He really listens to me and takes on board anything or everything that I say. If he was to go down, I am in charge of that vessel.
This morning we kind of sailed over the Cape of Good Hope. We kind of sailed past that. Obviously we're quite far offshore now. At the moment we're kind of heading in a southerly direction. We're getting southerly to go find those winds that we want. There's a front coming through, which will bring, generally the winds will be 30 knots-ish. However, it will bring some big gusts. We might see some quite big numbers, maybe in the 40s, maybe in the 50s.
So we made a bit of a decision. We've got a big front coming up today, and it's going to be the first front that we've got on this on this race, and our first big ocean front for quite a few of our crews. But it's really important for me that the crew get rested before we have a couple of days of exciting sailing, and it is going to be super exciting sailing.
Wind has picked up quite a lot. We're now getting sort of 35-40 knots breeze, and we're expecting even more. It could get into the 50s, 55 knots even.
"52 knots of wind. Goodness gracious, I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that before. I never expected to.
I think there are probably some 50 knots in there. I think they're loving it, Florida. So yeah, this is the kind of the ocean we were expecting to be in.
did the watch changeover, and Maisie was not her normal buoyant, bubbly self. So you straight away realised that something wasn't quite right.
So we were making our mainsail bigger because it was just after a storm had come through and high winds. In doing that, we actually damaged our mainsail.
We've got a tear on the luff, which is the leading edge of the mainsail.
We had to drop the whole mainsail, and we sailed for about 21 hours without a mainsail up. We were about 50 miles behind the fleet, and that just increased to about 100 miles at one point. It's sad because it is something that could have been prevented. It was a human error that caused that problem. It happened during my watch as well, so it's quite a hit.
Sail is back out, it's repaired. It's 90% on. We have got a couple more lugs to get into, but the good news is we've got a working sail that will see us through for the next few days, which is awesome.
But that 20 hours obviously cost us a huge amount of time in terms of competing against other boats. And once again, we found our way right towards the back of the pack. So made a decision then that we were going to absolutely head south as quickly as we possibly could, down as far as we could. And we did. And yeah, I've probably gone the furthest I'm ever going to go south in the southern hemisphere.
Okay, we currently have 3,714 miles to go. So we've done over 1,000 miles towards the Fremantle, which is pretty good as well. Okay, overall position at the moment, we are currently 10th. As soon as I get the weather update, I'll make a decision whether we're jibing or we're staying on this. Okay? All good. Thank you very much.
I thought I heard you. Or was it just the wind?
The power of nature down there is really unforgiving.
I thought I saw it. Was it all a dream?
Amazing, really, and you have the albatrosses that are, I think, the most amazing birds. They're these huge things that look like planes that are just, following these waves as well. It's really cool, really cool.
And they just follow you. They're really, really interested in you. So you get this feeling of isolation, big dramatic seas. Yeah, it feels like a lonely place, and it feels like you are going through a challenge.
I think the hardest part of where we're at now is probably the wet. Obviously on deck you have waves and you expect it, but then down below as well, it's just so wet. Like the condensation that drips off everywhere, it's just you can't really escape it.
It gets really, really damp down below. You get cabin rain as such, is probably the best word for it, where the condensation will start dripping on you. It's like Japanese water torture.
We really saw some of the weather that we were looking for, the big waves and the big winds, and cold and wet and hard, and why we signed up for the race. It's pretty hard. It's hard to remember that sometimes.
It's been very stormy and cold last 2 days. We had winds going up to 45 knots.
Yeah, I was definitely afraid when there were big waves and strong winds. I want to put myself in an environment that I am so unfamiliar that I can find the unfamiliar parts of me to discover myself. My name is Regina Lee. I'm from South Korea, and I'm Team Bekkezela. I think I was just a normal person with a fairly secure, stable job. Probably not sticking out much in the crowd. I started asking myself the real question: what do I want? What sparks joy? What makes me feel alive? Can I really do this? Am I strong enough? Am I tough enough? As much as the adventure itself and ocean sailing, they're all very attractive factors, but the fact that it's a very unique environment, I was just excited to find out who I will become after circumnavigating on Clipper Race.
I show you, I've drawn a little map today, but before I do that, distance to finish is
1,750.
1709. Just to sort of put it into context, because I appreciate that perhaps you're not entirely sure where we are or what we're doing, I drew this very accurate, largely to scale map. Okay, wow. So for those who can't tell, this is Australia, corner of Australia, and that says Fremantle, that's where we're going. And this little boat down here is us. Here, I will warn you now, bit of a wind hole. No. About here, it's not surprising. We've kind of been expecting that. This is you can see it's the start of it here. So this is now. And you can see over the next few days, it comes across the whole fleet, the whole race course, sorry.
What's happening is we're trying to make progress with very little wind. We've hit the wind hole and we're trying to get out of it, and in the meantime the wind is just veering around like it's gone crazy, and we're making 2 knots right now.
Very intense racing. Okay, we ready for the Yankee hoist?
There's very, very little wind, we are not moving. And I think the secret is to still enjoy it. It is quite beautiful, it's mesmerizing. And you don't have to go fast to enjoy being out on the ocean.
This is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Like, you never get to see stars like this. So if you look behind me, right over there, you might be able to see it. There's the Southern Cross. It looks like 4 stars in a sort of trapezoid, and the Southern Cross points directly at Antarctica, so you can tell that is over there is south, and we're going about north, east northeast, so right towards Rio.
Not yet. We're just kind of, that's why we've got our super light winds here. The front 3 have made it through, so they're on their last home run to Fremantle. The fun one here is Becca's down at the bottom. They did a big punch south, and it'll be interesting to see if they make it through. Looking at what they have now, it looks like they could have done really well from it.
We have got a wind angle at the moment, a true wind direction, which makes whatever direction we try to get to go towards Frio difficult, which is a bit frustrating at this moment in time.
We'd caught up with the fleet, and we had boats nearby us. We had boats like 50 miles ahead of us, which is very doable at 1,000 miles to catch them. And David and I made this decision to head south, pretty much away from where we wanted to go. We were adding an extra 200, 300 miles to what was 1,000 miles, so we were adding a third on.
It is one of those things that we've made a decision. It was, and then you then begin to doubt, and you think, well, actually, is it going to work?
And so we were, for a few days, we were heading the wrong way, and we were dropping place on place on place, miles and miles and miles behind those boats that the crew had worked really hard to catch up.
The crew were desperate to get on the podium. So you're taking their hopes away, really, especially if it goes wrong.
So then that put, obviously, David and I under a lot of pressure. I think for about 24 hours, David and I were sat there like, we have really messed up. This is a bad decision.
When we made that decision, it didn't seem like no other boats were gonna do that. But in a matter of a day or 2, other boats followed us. And it kind of felt good, like, yeah, we've done a good job. And
I think it was on my watch, where we jibed and we turned and we pointed at the finish, basically. But now, this is when the real pressure begins, because we're in 10th place. And this is where we're gonna gain on the boats when we were going to start overtaking if we made the right decision.
If you want to know how we managed to come back from, well, we reached 10th, overtake a load of boats, then drop back to 10th, and then come back and potentially finish in 4th, it's because Maisie and I, tactical geniuses, also got a very, very good 4-leaf clover.
One of the things that allowed us to do it was actually the crew themselves, because the helming that they did on that night was incredible. So it was a combination of the tactic of going southeast, not chasing the pack, but then the skill levels that they displayed and worked hard as a team.
It's just obvious that if people are not together, coming together, team comes first, and then we can cross oceans. There's no way we as individuals can pull it through if we don't work as a team.
We are 1.5 miles from the finish line, and everyone is getting ready to cross basically. We've got David in the nav station counting down with his whistles. Everyone is super excited, and soon we will be in Frio.
Land for the first time, and yeah, I think, you know, that's just given everyone the boost they needed. You know, land actually exists.
Quite emotional. Really hard, but been worth it.
Yeah.
Didn't think I'd be this emotional coming back home.
We just missed a podium by 1 hour 7 minutes, which was a bit gutty, because the strategy we played on that, absolutely 100%, and I would play that strategy again.
So much has happened. It's been like almost a month, I guess, and it was really incredible. It was so much more than I thought it would be. I'd never seen, you know, obviously never seen an ocean this big, but I also never imagined myself doing something like this, and I came back better for it.
Finally, land, Australia.
We finished! So, came in 10th, which is it's not an accurate representation of how we did as a team in looking after the boat ourselves, and so it was a shame. It feels a bit of a shame, but really, you know, the accomplishment is just getting there. You know, in the way we did. You know, happy and healthy, and the boat was totally fine. So, you know, that's when you're going across a piece of water like that. That's what you're after, really.
You know what I really loved? I was at the helm one of the broaching. That was my first one. I was trying to bear away, and like the wheels already turned all the way. I couldn't hold it anymore. I was like, I don't know what to do. And skipper David came up and said, let go.
So what are you waiting for?
How do I let go? It's gonna go worse. And like, no, let go. And I just lift my hand, and the wheel turned to the center. And I just felt this weird sensation where I felt relieved.
I feel a little unsafe on the surface. I feel a little unstable in all this.
It's almost similar to any life experience I had so far, where I was trying so hard to fix things, get things right, really holding on to it, and the moment I kind of let it happen, let it flow, and things start getting better. I didn't think I would experience such a direct, comparable experience on the boat. Yeah, just let go.